Hi, welcome to my Excel Basics video tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be showing most of the basics that you need to know in order to get started using Microsoft Excel. And the version of Excel I'm going to use is Excel 2016 for Windows. So I already pinned my Excel on the taskbar here, but if you haven't yet, you can actually do it by looking for your Excel here and just right clicking, and then you'll just have to click more, and there should be an option here to click on the taskbar. So since mine is already pinned on the taskbar, you just simply click it. And right now we're using the Excel 2016. But if you're using a different version of Excel, maybe an older version or even a newer version, or if you're using Excel on a Mac, there will be a slight differences, but for the most part, it will be applicable to your usage of Excel. So Excel now shows you your options to either open up a blank workbook, or you can click on any of the templates available. You can click on more templates. So you have a lot of options. You can actually take your time to browse on these spreadsheets available. See, for example, they have time card spreadsheet. They're already created for you. You just have to replace the data with your own data. Or aside from these templates that are already available here, let's say, for example, you need more templates for a time card, you can also choose to look it up online by clicking here. So if you look at time card and hit enter, it's going to give you other results. Like, do you want this kind of timesheet? Do you want this kind of time card or timesheet? So it will also give you all the other categories that you can choose from. So these sample templates or spreadsheets or templates are very useful, because you can just decide to click on one of them and then just simply copy it and just change your information to your own information. But in order to really learn how to use Excel fully and properly, it's best to start with a blank workbook. So what you want to do is just double click on that. And then now you've selected a blank workbook and we've opened it up. So this is how it will look the first time. And the first thing that we need to do is to learn about the layout that we have in Excel 2016. There are certain terms that you will need to know. So across the top, we have some tabs. So we have the Home tab, the Insert tab, the Page Layout, and more. Each of these tabs is important. And when you click on a particular tab, so you get the File, Home, Insert, Page Layout. So when you click on a particular tab, it opens up a ribbon. So this is the ribbon for the Home tab. If you click on the Insert tab, it opens up its own ribbon, as well as the Page Layout tab. Home, Insert, Page Layout, Formulas. So each of these tabs on the tab has its own ribbon. So each ribbon is divided up into groups. So if you look at the Page Layout ribbon, so it has its Themes group, the Page Setup group, scale to fit group. So if you click the home ribbon, it has the clipboard group, font group, alignment group. So the same as formula. So page layout, all on the page layout ribbon has its own group. So those are some of the important terms that you'll need to know. Tab, ribbon, and groups. And you'll notice in the corner of some of the groups, let's say page setup group, you see this symbol? This is a launch button. We have this. Basically, you can use it, you can click on it. It will just show you more options that are not shown up here. So for the page setup button, when you click it, this is what shows up. And then if you click on the scale to fit button, it gives you more options. So basically, if you look at the arrange group, it doesn't have a button, a launch button, because there's no more other options other than what's shown up here. So for sheet options, there's your additional options when you click on the launch button. A couple of other layout terms you need to know if you're looking at the spreadsheet itself. So it's made up of columns and rows. So this is column A, B, C. It goes up all the way. If you actually move to the right, there's more. So after Z, it goes A, B, A, C, and so on. And this is your rows, row 1, 2, 3, 4, and it goes all the way up the numbers as well. So you have a lot of columns and rows to choose from. So the intersection of a column and a row produces a cell. So this is a cell, this is a cell, this is also a cell. And what's good is every cell has a name. For example, this one. So the way you name a cell is just basing on the column and the row. So this is cell D. Sorry. So this is cell D3. So this is cell is named as G4. And this is J8. And another term that you also need to remember is, in addition to columns and rows and cell, is this. This is called arrange. This is called arrange. Arrange is just a group of cells that are together. So this could be arrange, this could be arrange, and this could be arrange as well. So how do you name arrange? So what you need to do is, for range, you have to start at the upper left. So for example, see upper left, and then you end up at the lower right. So this range could be G4 through I7. So G4 through I7. But the way you write down through in here is going to be G4, and you use column I7. So it's just for example, so I'm going to take it off. And also, you can see that this is all on a sheet. So this is a sheet, and you can actually add a sheet. So you can have sheet 2, sheet 3. You can add more sheets if you want. All the sheets added together is called a workbook. So you add this together, you have a workbook. So to review, so we learned about tabs, we learned about ribbon, we learned about group, and we learned about the launch button. And we also learned about the rows and the columns of the cells. We also learned about the ranges or range and the sheets. So now that we've got all that as a foundation for our Excel use, let's now start actually creating and working on an Excel worksheet. All right, so to make it easier for you to take a look at our worksheet, I'm going to zoom it in. So if you follow, you can make it as big as you want. So we're going to do it like that. All right, so again, I'm going to show you how to make this bigger so it's easier for you. All I need to do is this. We're going to zoom it in, okay? So you're going to click and drag to the right, to this plus sign. Or if you want to make it smaller, you just click and drag it to the left, to the negative sign. So I'm going to make it a little bigger for you to see it clearly. And then I'm going to put my cursor on the A1 cell so we can start entering our data. All right, for example, I want to use Excel to create an inventory of my DVD collection. It doesn't have to be a DVD collection for you guys, but this is just an example. So let me start typing, let's say DVD collections. So you'll notice that my text is bigger than the cell itself. You see this? It goes too far to the right, but don't worry about it. Just hit enter or return on your keyboard. And here, I've successfully entered my first data into the spreadsheet. Now, it looks like the words DVD collections are spilling over from A1 to B1. But it's just an illusion, so don't worry about it. Both of these words are still going to be stored on A1. So if I actually click on B1 and type something and hit enter or return, and I check the A1, the words are still going to be there. So how do I fix this? Because you want to work nicely. So how do you fix this is this. So you can just put your cursor in the middle of A and B letters, and then you will see the two-sided arrows. That's good. All you need to do is click on it, and you can drag it to the right to make it bigger. See, now it fits. So basically, you can stretch out any columns or any row if you want. See, you can actually do that. Looking at this, you may have noticed when I hit enter or hit return, it automatically moved me down. In Excel, when you hit enter or return, you move down the spreadsheet. So if you want to move up the spreadsheet, you can hold shift and enter or return. So to go down, hit enter or return. If you want to go up, hit shift and hit enter or return. You can try that and try again. All right, so So what if I want to move to the right? So you can hit tab to move to the right. So tab, I want to go to B, C, tab, 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 tab. So what if I want to go back? So what you need to do is hit shift and tab, 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 tab. So tab to go right, shift tab to go back. So in Excel, so you have to enter to go down, shift enter or return to go up, tab to go right, and shift tab to go left. Another way of moving around the cells is you can use your arrow right, arrow left, arrow down, or arrow up. So again, you can also do arrow right, arrow left, arrow down, and arrow up. But in Excel, it is much better to use just your keyboard because you can also use your mouse if you want to move around spreadsheet, go to cell after cell, you can use your mouse like this. But again, it's very convenient. It's much easier if you use your keyboard. So we're going to stick to that one. So I've got my title in there. So now I'm going to move on to 8.2. So I'm going to put my title. That's my DVD title. So we're going to put that date on it. And then let's say date purchase, tab, rating, tab, value, tab, general, and tab, location. With that last one, you notice when I hit enter, it moved me down and it moved me to the left, expecting me to put in my first record. All right, first record means my first movie, my first DVD collection. So let's just say that I have A Hobbit and tab, and I purchased it, let's say 2012. Tab, rating, it's PG, and tab, let's say it's $15. Tab, and it's science fiction. Genre and location, it's in the living room. And notice again when I hit enter, it's gonna move me to the left, down to the left. It's expecting more records to be put in. So let me add up more titles on our DVD collections. Let's just say that I add the Avengers. Let's say 2012, tab PG, tab value, let's say $20, and it's sci-fi. Fantasy. Yes, it's also in my living room. And you're gonna hit enter again, so it's expecting you again to add more record. So let's just say that I noticed that I did put a record with the wrong spelling. See, look at this, Avengers. So look what happened. So I want to fix that, right? So I want to fix this. So I want to put I'm gonna go to cell A4 to fix it. So look what happens if I want to fix that. I want to type something. You see that? What happens is with Excel, as soon as I type the correction, it erases what was already there. So there's a difference between being on a cell and being in a cell. So take note of that one. So let's put this back together. So that was the Avengers. So because I was on a cell again, when I type something, it erases it. But what do I want to do to be in a cell? So to be in a cell, you have to double click it. So do you notice this now? I have the cursor in here. So I can move the arrow to after the letter V. So I want to make sure that my spelling is correct. See? Now I already changed it, this spelling to correct spelling, and I can hit enter. And there, I fixed that. So again, make sure that you know the difference between being on a cell. So now this is you being on a cell. But if you want to be in a cell, like say to edit words that have been misspelled or to change something, you have to double click and make sure that you see this cursor. See, you can move this cursor up, actually left and right. See, you can hit tab, you can do it here as well. So double click. So I've added more records on our DVD collections and I want to make it look nicer. So if you pay attention right now, so this is all we have right here. So we can actually do a lot. So for example, this is my title, right? I want my title to stand out. So I could actually go and use the tabs here. See if I click, if I click the home tab, it will give me an option to make it bolder. It will give me the option to make it the size bigger than the rest, so it will stand out. I could also change the font here if I want to, and then I can change colors if I want. So I want a blue and bold. So what if I want to center this title? So what I want to do is I would like to center that. So I'm going to put my cursor in cell A1 and drag it across the end of my data, which is on column F. After that, I'm going to click home. And you see this ribbon for merge and center? Click on that. And you see how what it did? It actually merged all of the cells for A, B, C, D, E, and F. So now it centered our title. And you see how this is not fitting in our column? So you can either put your cursor in there and move it manually like that. So, see? Or there's a shortcut. What you can do is you can just, let's just say this. You can just go into the center of two cells, of two columns, and then hit double click. And you see how it changes on its own? So I'm going to double click. So in the middle of F and G, I'm going to double click because it's not leveled. See now? It looks nicer. So I also want to make sure that I can differentiate this part here, because this is for your title, your date purchase, rating, value, genre, and location. So I could just make it bold. I can just change the color to green. See, if you see that, it looks much nicer. So you can use the tab and then the ribbon. You can, if you want, you can just click this to center this. You can do that as well. And take a note of this. If I click on number 2, on row 2, you see how it lights everything here? I can just do that and then make everything centered. See, now it's all centered. So basically, now you have an idea on what to do with your tabs, with your ribbon, your rows and your columns, your sheets. This is just a basic, so you'll have a basic understanding in using the Excel spreadsheet. Later on, I will put a video on the more advanced Excel tutorials